As you guys might know, my name is Ellen Red. I'm a remote viewer, and I have shared many videos since 2011. I've also written about it for a long, long time. I've spoken into it in my audience. I've talked about it in my Patreon, and I've been telling the world for many, many years that I remote viewed several men in a lab. I was basically taken out of my body, and I was able to go and see into a lab where I watched several men planning a pandemic. They were actually planning two of them. And I saw them talking about how they were going to make the first one. It wouldn't be very as much damaging. They were going to use it to put into play systems, financial systems, legal systems, even using AI devices to track people. They were manipulating DNA and genetics. They were laughing about it. I recognized three of the men to be Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, and Anthony Fauci. This is for entertainment purposes only, just in case we have problems with the algorithms here. But this is what I saw. And I didn't recognize two of the other men. I also saw that these males they're not human. They look human in their physical bodies, kind of, but they weren't when I saw them there. And if you understand the story of the Anunnaki and the history of humanity, you'll understand that the Anunnakis have been known also to manipulate genetics. They call a lot of your DNA junk DNA, but it really wasn't originally made that way. And scientists are starting to catch up to that situation as well. Recently, when the DOJ released files from Jeffrey Epstein's emails, they did discover, in fact, that in 2017, Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein were talking about putting on pandemic simulations. And this is also known as Event 201. So if you want to research that, they actually did kind of do some propagation where they kind of hired actors to play it out and see how it was going to take hold in society. I heard them talking about the second one, and I heard them saying that the second one was going to be far more dangerous. When they were talking about these things, they were actually laughing about it. They knew that many people were going to be harmed and murdered by these things. Again, I'm saying this from seeing it energetically through remote viewing. So take that for what you want. But many people were very angry with me for saying it, and it now has been proven to be true. They recently did another simulation event in 2025 in December that I believe is going to be the second one that they were planning, and I believe that that's going to happen in 2026, sometime in the middle towards the fall. I'm being guided to tell you that it would be very good for you all to strengthen your bodies. Make sure that you're taking a lot of support like zinc and magnesium, copper, and different types of vitamins, getting exercise, strengthening your immune systems, and just keeping yourself as strong and healthy as you can. Also using your higher consciousness and asking your soul and your higher mind to help you override any exposure to any of these types of things. I also want to say that when I was in that lab and I was seeing these guys, they actually turned around and looked at me. I think two or three of them saw me. And as soon as they saw me, I had to get out of there because it's very dangerous for me to share this with you in the public, let alone for me to be caught as a remote viewer, because these guys use scrying technologies and they do know how to track people like me. So I take a very big risk in bringing this forth. I lost my LinkedIn account for life. They told me that I was a dangerous person for telling people what I remote viewed, and they removed my access to LinkedIn where I had decades of business clients. I had been working on some book deals and movie deals, and I lost contact with everybody that I knew there, and I've never been able to get a hold of some of those people again. So Again, it's also very dangerous, as you guys know, for people like me to come out and speak on these things. People like me have gone missing many timelines for doing so. I am asking you guys, if you are enjoying these videos and enjoying the work and content that I create for you in trying to assist humanity, that you would also assist me. You can like and share out the videos. You can leave your comments. You can ask me for other videos. You're welcome to also make donations to support my work. I make all of this content for free. I don't get paid for it. I'm not funded by anybody. I do it completely for free. And I also need the support of my audience to help me continue doing this work. So if you're interested in making a donation, please consider doing that. It helps me. As you guys know, I was also an MK Ultra survivor who was in the Monarch program, and I was in the Super Soldiers program. I'm telling you also that a lot of these things that are going on are very much connected to star seeds, bloodlines, star origins. I was in the Utah mind control trauma-based programs out of Utah. I'm going to continue to make some more content on that. Mind control and MK Ultra victims are usually completely fractured, and by the time if they're lucky and they do get their consciousness back, by then they've been broken down, they've lost their whole lives, don't have any money, and those kinds of things. So it's really important also to help those of us that have overcome that, so that we can share the messages from what we gained from that knowledge. We need to learn how to support each other and resist the things that are evil in order to ascend into New Earth. New Earth templating is about loving each other, not just a one-way street. So I'd really appreciate your support back as well. But again, do expect that this second event is going to happen soon. There's actually evidence that this event planning just happened, and again, all of the things that I remote viewed in 2011 just came out this year, 2026, in the Epstein release, release of the emails. And what they released, by the way, is only a very small bit. It wasn't the whole files, and it was already pretty darn gritty. With your support and you guys liking and sharing out the videos, it helps this message to get out to others as well. And I would really appreciate that, because we are in a very big race against time right now to try to help humanity with something that can be most devastating for the collective of the entire planet. As you guys know, as some of you guys know, I do connect now to angelics, because after my MK Ultra and me surviving it, I actually ascended and went back to source and came back in with all of my DNA rehealed, and I connect to the angelic realms. I connect directly to God, and I bring forth whatever God asks me to do, okay? And in doing that, I also do connect to the angels that work for God. We call them the angels of light. Those angels of light are part of the galactic beings that you hear people talking about, because why we call them galactic, even though they're angelics, is they live in other realms and other planetary systems beyond this one. So they're called galactics, but they're also called angelics. And there are certainly negative groups of those, but I work with the ones of light after I connected with God, and God brought me into the circle of the light tribe to remember who I was and why I was on earth. Again, they do target specific bloodlines, which is why I was targeted as a child. And many of you probably have been too. So I'm going to continue my work, but I would really appreciate your support in the process, and I'll keep bringing forth information for humanity. Thank you.